Chapter 4. To Amum. Mia, Kamadake, jump out. They came out in front of a beautiful blue planet. Amum's satellite station is just a stone's throw away, so let's go there after we adjust to the time difference of the main island. A few hours later, after finishing the time adjustment, the Kamadake headed to the satellite station. Originally, Amum was an aquatic resource planet, not a planet specialized in tourism. Therefore, the satellite station wasn't very fancy. This doesn't feel very tropical. Are we in the right place? Sana seemed a little uneasy. I've received the access key from the receptionist, and I'm transferring our things now. Oh, the transfer just completed. Well then, let's get going.
Mia.
Mia. Fuku pointed to something and then to Amum on the monitor. What's wrong, Fuku? She wants to know if she can bring the ship down with her. Sorry, we can't bring it with us. Amum was still a resource planet. They didn't let ships dock on the surface to prevent poaching. Mia.
Wow.
They went out of a passage after going through a transfer gate and marveled at the scenery spread out before them. It's beautiful, someone muttered. But that was what was on all of their minds. The floor was made entirely of a transparent material, and there was a superb view below, but only the sea of the planet was visible. With a light blue reflected light, the floor was like a big aquarium. Everyone welcome. Welcome to Amum. Officials who were dressed in white Jurian-style clothes welcomed Sana and his guests. Their pure white clothes were illuminated by the reflected light of blue, and they looked just like jellyfish. Thank you, Wah.
That.
I made sure Eri won't be coming. Sana and the others saw Sito, Mikami, and Ringo sitting on the sofa behind the staff. Sito-sama. Mikami. Sito and Mikami waved at them with smiling faces. Ringo stood up and bowed a little shyly. Mikami came in her young body. The style of outfit she had on screamed, "Hi, I'm also here for the vacation." Are we being chaperoned by our parents? Amain muttered as if disappointed, and the other women agreed. Oh no, it's nothing that serious. We just figured you had other guest spots. Why not use them? Sana could have invited up to 20 people to come. I tried getting Minaho and Tenio, but they were busy with work, and on the other end of the galaxy. On Amum, everyone is equal, so we will join you in cooking and cleaning and getting food. We promise we'll keep in line, right?
Sito said.
Huh. Under whose orders? Mikami said. Me, Mikami, as an educator, no. As the GP Academy principal, you must maintain your dignity.
Damn.
Mikami gave a glamorous smile comparable to Jaikirin and a chuckle. What's with that laugh? At that time, Kariko remembered that while it was not well-known information, she remembered that in the past that Mikami was Sito's girlfriend. The previous smile she gave Sito made her realize it. Kariko, I understand your concern, but for Sana, I think that education as an adult will also be necessary soon. Adult education, of course, had a sexual meaning. Ringo, Ms. Ringo. Ringo, you swore to Sana's parents you would protect Sana, didn't you? Of course, and I am, as far as my powers are able to. I'm doing the best I can. Ringo was in a semi-crying state. Sito and Mikami were monsters she couldn't defeat.
Oh.
Well, I guess it was cruel to harass Ringo any further. Kariko. We will do our best to. Amain put her hand on Kariko's shoulder. That's right, Kariko-sama, so will we. Hakuran's group said. Oh. Thank you, Amain. Everyone. Oh no. Somehow we've become the villain. What an interesting turn of events, don't you think? Sito and Mikami gazed at each other with a smile. Sana was watching them from afar, trying to avoid any possible fight damage. He was just glad Eri wasn't joining them. Oh, I forgot. I still have to thank Ringo. Sana carefully snuck through the danger zone and approached Ringo, led by his sense of duty. Hi. Ringo.
Oh, Sana.
Thank you for taking care of things for my parents on the Earth. No, compared to what you have done for us, Sana, it was nothing. I'm sorry to have gotten you worried about such things while you were on a vacation. I didn't mind, I had fun. Besides, you saved us from a potential problem. Thank you very much. I'm glad you feel that way. I'm not used to wearing clothes like this. Does it look alright on me? Ringo asked Sana. She was wearing a lightweight Western-style outfit rather than a Japanese-style outfit typically worn by a Jurian princess. She was showing considerably more skin than usual. No, it suits you well. Is that so? That's good. They seemed like an innocent couple as the two shyly looked down at the ground. So, you're upset with us, but you're just going to ignore what's going on with those two over there? Sito said to inflame the girls. Of course, the girls all turned to focus on Ringo and Sana. Excuse me? Now that you've gathered together, I'll explain everything you need to know about Amum, so please take a seat. A woman on the staff interrupted. Sana was familiar with the voice of the female staff member. It was one of the officials who referred to Sito as a shitty old hag when he was on Jurai. Sana bowed and took a seat with Ringo. One after another, Kiriko and the others seated themselves to surround Sana as if to guard him from Sito and Mikami. Well, first we will check the baggage that everyone brought, the female official said, and lowered her head. Master, tell them I'm not luggage. I'm part of the Kamidake's crew. They heard the screaming voice of NB from afar. Please, don't listen to it. We don't want to hear. NB. I feel bad for Kirchi. Washu is replicating Amum in her virtual space. Oh well. So then Sana should see her when he's asleep. Lucky her. Sito and Mikami were face-to-face communicating via confidential communications. The laws on Amum are the galaxy standard, but we won't intervene from here unless a major situation arises. Please act like adults and be on your best behavior. Oh, don't worry. I don't think I'll be doing anything immature. What about you two? Do you think she's just mad because she wants to go first? It's something like that. Kiriko boiled with rage. We will install an emergency button, but we won't be monitoring what goes on. We'll transfer a sufficient amount of food and everyday items whenever you need them, but don't forget you'll be on the sea, so you can be self-sufficient if you like. Feel free to fish. This is the holiday off-season, so no large events will be held. But if there's something you desire, well, Amum follows standard laws of the galaxy, but we have one of our own. If you need anything, just ask and we'll provide. As long as you all agree on something, there's no issue. The female official opened the case that was on the desk and turned it towards Sana's people so that the contents could be seen. There was displayed things such as rhinoceros, roulette, and cards. With that, our briefing is over. Do you have any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, but... Yes, what is it? Actually, I want the Kamidake. I want to land the ship here. Yes, we don't mind. Is that so? The female official immediately told the reason to Sana, who was happy to hear that. Yes, we received an application from Ms. Washu in advance. The permission has already been granted. The hull has already been purified, so you can drop down at any time you like. Thank you. Fuku, take the ship down into the sea. Mia, any other questions? If not, please go enjoy yourself. Okay. It was as if the closing ceremony was over and class was out for the summer. Sana and the others entered the transfer gate one after another. Wow. Sana came out of the transfer gate and took a deep breath of the fresh air. It had a strange scent that wasn't the odor of the sea breeze or the smell of the vegetation. Oh, look, it's here, Fuku. Sana looked reflexively at the Kamidake falling from the sky above. Mia. Meow. No. Stop. Sana looked at Fuku and knew what was going to happen. He tried to stop her, but the Kamidake wouldn't stop. Like a child who was excited by the ocean, the Kamidake rushed to hop in, and it crashed into the ocean with intense momentum. Dush. Water flew up and landed on all of them. Fuku. Mia? Fuku said as she watched Sana be splashed with water. Sito took off the soaked clothes she was wearing. Miss Sito. Her silky skin and body were reminiscent of the birth of Venus. Of course, Amain and Jayakiran looked better, but as Kamiki Sito Jurai, she had an overwhelming force in her aura. You don't have to worry, I wore a swimsuit underneath, but this is paradise, Amum. And such intangible concepts don't last here. Sito said, looking at Sana to see if he liked what he saw. Well, then I guess there's no point in wearing this anymore now, is there? Next, Mikami took off her clothes. Her blonde hair glistened in the sunlight on her brown skin. Everyone fell silent at the sight.
Yuga.
At that time, Kariko noticed the sound of Sana unconsciously drooling. It lit Kariko's fighting spirit. She also took off her clothes and began to expose her swimsuit. To counter Sito and Mikami, the others planned to combat them with youth and number. What are you doing, Kariko-sense? Kariko began to undress Ringo. Stop it. Amain, not you too. Oh, wow, that's a surprisingly bold swim outfit for a Jurian princess. Ringo, who was kidnapped by Kariko, squatted and hit her chest with both hands. She had on clothes, but it was a bikini. Oh, wow, Ringo, I suspected a one-piece from you. How surprising. Sito said. Hey, wait a second, where is Sana? Sana was nowhere to be found. Ringo was no longer embarrassed and they panicked and started looking for him. They scattered all over in every direction to search for Sana. They soon found him when he came up from the ocean with a bunch of seaweed. Sana, what were you doing? Kiriko asked. Maybe he's hunting for food. I don't think he plans to eat that seaweed. Well, what else would he be doing with it? They approached Sana.
Oh.
I'll tell you later. He looked away and ran away from them towards a nearby rock shelf. He laid out the seaweed to dry it. What do you think he's up to? Whatever it is, I'm sure he's fine. We should worry about getting moved in first, don't you think? Sito and Mikami turned their eyes to a giant tree building. Inside was a single giant round donut-shaped bed with no partitions. How are we going to sleep on this? I will decide. As Sana's guardian. Oh, have you forgotten about the rules here already? We all have to decide. This is not up for discussion, right, you guys? Kariko confidently looked at the others. However, all of the other girls in her group diverted their eyes from Kariko. Kariko stared at them in disbelief. It would be a bit cramped in here if there was a bed for each of us. What can you do? That's right, besides, we're on vacation, why stress over it? Everyone nodded at the opinions of Amain and Irma. Well, that is... Yes, but... Look here, Kariko, there's no use in getting upset. It's bright and wonderful. We're on Amum. This is paradise. Jayakiran said with a smile. Kiriko stared at her. Fine, I understand. All of them cheered at Kariko's consent. Well then, let's go outside and enjoy this trip. How about we go in shifts? We can have 2 of us stay with Sana every night and switch out between us. They agreed. Sana seems to be working out there pretty hard. I'm going to make some food. Actually, we've been here for quite a while already. We already cooked lunch. Huh? Sito-sama and Mikami-sama, you two cooked. Their reactions were mixed. They knew Sito was a good cook, but didn't know much about Mikami's cooking. Sana was sitting on a sand beach with the girls lined up before him in their swimsuits. So, what do you think? You all look amazing. Well, whose swimsuit do you like the most? Sana began to look at the appearance of each of them. He got dizzy and passed out before he could give an answer. Sana was laying on the ground with a cooling pad on his neck in the shade of the treehouse. Wow, he managed to get sunstroke from working too hard outside. Doesn't he understand what a vacation is?
Sito asked.
I think maybe we put a little too much strain on him, Mikami said, staring at Sito. No, it was my fault. I shouldn't have asked him such a question. Sito poked Mikami's chest. Mikami jumped up surprised, but soon regained her composure and readjusted her swimsuit. It seemed that Sana was watching and had collapsed again with a nosebleed. You'd think he'd be more used to things like that by now. We better get lunch ready. He's going to need it. Sito headed for the kitchen accompanied by Mikami.